Where we come from, we each fight for loyalty, for freedom, or perhaps enlightenment. But not here. Here we cast aside our disparate beliefs, our barriers and preconceived notions, and band together as a global force to engage in some of the largest competitive battles this world has ever seen. We are the squads, the platoons, the empires and servers, full of players coordinating a complex game of strategy and tactics. This is where combined arms happens. This is where war comes to play. This is ServerSmash.
And that's the wrong intro video. Hello everyone, it's Farah here. How are you all doing? This is ServerSmash number 68. Welcome to PlanetSide Battle's main event. I'll be your main host caster dude today. And yeah, let's get into it. We're just gonna getting set up. Last 15 minutes before we go live into our game. I'll see if Azur's here and we'll have a little chat. Hey Azur, are you here or are you running off to dinner as you said?
I'm still here for another little bit.
Oh, awesome. So we're just introducing our good viewers out there in the world to ServerSmash 68, which is Crown, our collective group of lovely Koreans, against Briggs.
Yes.
I will be the game referee for this match. Please pay careful attention as I go over the match rule.
Nope, and you're muted. Done. So, today's game is 170 people versus 170 people between the two teams. We'll be fighting on Amerish, modified Amerish, where we have some out-of-bounds areas. I believe the Ascent and the Eastern Edge is not in play today. Otherwise, it's your standard ServerSmash. No construction, no air lock-ons, or some of the caveat rules. And this is just ServerSmash number 1 for the day. We actually have another one in about 11 or 12 hours, which is about 1200 or midnight UTC. You gonna be up in the morning for that, Azure? Because I assume it's late in the evening for you right now.
Probably not. Maybe if I end up waking up early and I'm needed.
Right.
Personally, I like sleep.
I agree with you. So Azure is our good stand-in co-caster today. He who shall not be named is not here to help me out, but it's fine. This is our first ServerSmash in a while now. Did you have a hand in helping Crown and Briggs come together?
Not really. I sat in. We've got the Briggs Cabal group. I sit in there. They were like, "Hello," and we're doing a thing. I'm like, "Okay, enjoy." I don't have a graphics card for another month, so I wasn't actually expecting to be here today at all.
If you would be ever so kind, I'm beginning to look at the system here. The game thinks Amerish is locked. But it's minus 15 nanites to NC, so no one cares about that. However, victory points are currently active. Would you be ever so kind to go down to Morty and tell him to turn that off?
No problem.
Thank you very much. Right, guys, so here we are. War on Amerish. We're going to having a ServerSmash. It is the Northeast Crown is playing from the Eastern Warp Gate. They'll be playing Vanu Sovereignty. Briggs will be playing Terran Republic from the Southern Warp Gate. As we say, this lane on the Eastern Edge, Silvery Arsenal, Subterranean Analysis, also known as Satan's You Know What, and Zealous Northgate, they're out of play. I believe Ascent is also out of play, so there's kind of like a roundabout lane and that's it. I think it's due to numbers that they're kind of having fewer people. Then Split Peak Pass I do believe is in contention along with Bastion, so these are large 3-point bases that you'll typically see come into contention and play later in the beginning opening combat. Speaking of which, we have a single 90-minute game today for you guys. It's like one round. And then if you're talking like 5 solid lanes, well, you've got the Deserted Mineshaft and Saltic Charging Station. That's always been a solid lane, fighting along for a couple of easy 1-point bases. We also have the Rock Slide into Raven's Landing. So the Rock Slide and Raven's Landing are instant caps, however they can be interdicted, so you can't capture them, but you can prevent the enemy from capturing to give you more time to get Lithcorp Central for free. So we may see some play there. The vulnerability to the the Crown team today is the fact that their only tech plant is 1 point away from McKellar Auxiliary Compound. So we may see some kind of power play by the south from Briggs. And that's really about it. You'll see the small bases being potentially contested first, and then when the 3-point bases between Split Peak and Bastion get contested, you'll see more numbers move in. Or at least that's the standard meta. I don't know how Briggs has done it, because I haven't seen Briggs play in a while. And Crown was still playing on some very old meta. Hopefully, maybe with them playing on Western servers, they may have picked something up and give us a good fight today.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, that was the thing. So the Crown meta was obviously very different to the Western meta, so
it was significantly less cheese. There was no cheese that it was bad for them.
Yeah, no, they were very much more in the Bushido side, but hey, hopefully they've picked up some of the Western meta so they don't get.
Or you could just ban Sunders. I don't know how that would work though for spawn options, but you could ban Sunders.
Would indeed do that.
So 170 versus 170. I assume you maybe have a small air force. What else do you do? Do you have an opening play? Do you have a particular way that you like to play this map? Do you pressure the 1 point bases that are not neutral and then go for the large ones? How would you go about it?
I'd be picking off the small bases, to be honest. It's easy points, just easy paths through. Generally on Amerish, they're not that great to defend. It's not a fun experience defending them. So if you can grab a couple of the small bases, you can get ahead get on the front foot early in the game, and then it's just about capitalizing on your momentum.
Speaking of which, my character is Terran Republic. Excellent. So if you want to be a Vanu Sovereignty character just for when you get back, that'd be fantastic.
Yes, right now I'm just trying to set my keybinds back up so that they work.
Yes, every time. Oh man, I have been out of the picture for a while now.
At least you're not me. Literally haven't been doing anything because, oh no, my graphics card decided that...
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me, like, a spider from Australia died on your graphics card and, you know, you found things and you just burnt the machine.
No, fortunately, we've not had any spiders come and try to eat me. I do have one that's sitting above my head right now, though, but...
Oh, well, okay, this isn't a horror stream, let's tone it down a bit.
He's a spider, bro. He doesn't eat me.
Okay.
He's a huntsman.
Okay. Okay, pictures in my head. I'm glad there's no native wildlife in PlanetSide. That's
fine.
a good question. Yeah. Well, anyway, going back between VS and TR, if we stay slightly on point here, we've got 7 minutes till our game. If you've never watched the ServerSmash before, guys, the general brief is collective teams play from servers, so server groups. So Briggs is our Australian, New Zealand, sort of far Eastern Asia-ish style server group. Crown is more of a collection of nation players from multiple players. They originally were from the Korean server before it got shut down. And we do have a couple of other teams playing from European and American server groups. However, it's more of a loose association. It's more like this server group and friends. And you get together, form a large team. Usually it's well organized, and you have a kind of a combat system. We are playing on our private server, or more of a competitive server provided by Daybreak Games called Jaeger. We hand out accounts to the individual players, and they can log in with a fully sorted character. They just need to pray to RNG Jesus while they do implants, which you would recognize if you play in game. And then that's it. They have characters ready, they organize, and then we start in 6 minutes, and then they play for 90 minutes, and it's whoever has the most territory at the end of 90 minutes is our assigned winner. And it's kind of playing PlanetSide the way it was meant to be. Just two big, highly organized teams that play out on a map without any interference. That's ServerSmash.
That's the brief.
It's quite popular, I heard.
Yeah, that was last I heard. It was pretty popular with the people, provided that we don't do another tournament.
Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, no, we're just playing for fun, guys. When you throw
just everyone in chat, please know this game is for fun.
That is the overriding. The thing is, most of the games this year have been player organized. So Daybreak PlanetSide Battles, we will facilitate the game. You want to play a game, we'll make it happen. With that being said, that is what ServerSmash is. That's how Daybreak and Planetside Battles, that's our kind of... Planetside Battles is a volunteer-run organization that helps run events on the Yiga server for competitive-ish, you know, maybe smaller-scale lane smash stuff, which is kind of outfit versus outfit, or team on team, or base smash, which is kind of in its infancy. And this is our bigger one, ServerSmash. But in terms of our game today, this is only our first game. It's Briggs versus Crown. That's going to start, as we say, in about 5 minutes. Later tonight at midnight UTC, so I believe that is 13 hours from now, there is going to be Emerald versus Connery. So it's an all-American Civil War type thing with friends. Maybe some Briggs people will be playing in that as well for Connery, who knows? Probably
some of the East Coast guys will wake up just so they can wail on some Americans.
Yep. Oh, apparently there's a raffle. We need to do a raffle at the end of the match. That's what the ref says. Okay, we'll remember to do that. Unmute the ref. Okay, yeah, so sorry, we're getting really distracted here. Apart from the last 4 minutes, I'm going to head to the Southern Warp Gate in about 1 minute to go to the game. We have... Hello, Moti. Do you want to say something?
Yes, we have a visitor.
I saw your message about the raffle.
Yeah, okay, cool. Just going to stay here and mute myself, just to have something to listen during the match.
Okay. Yeah, so the game is about to start in 3 minutes, guys. I'm going to go to the Southern Warp Gate, watch it. Azure needs to disappear for a few minutes because he's helping me out, so he'll be back briefly, and then he can tell me what's going on from the Crown perspective. So I'll be one man showing this just for a little bit. So the Korean stream has... Dude, we have like 20 people on thing, which is fine. You know, we're doing it for fun. The Korean stream, I'm told, in Twitch chat has 800 viewers. ServerSmash, way more popular in Korea, right? Let me just fix some audio settings and we can get straight ready into this. I'm expecting to see some pretty good fights.
Indeed, I think that, well, particularly given that these two have both got very even pings, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to how both teams approach it. What kind of levels of cheese they are, what level of organization, because the standard meta, the last I heard of it, was you apply your forces evenly distributed among all the lanes, and then so you have equal forces on all the lanes, and you don't necessarily have a reserve, but the lanes can help adjacent lanes, and then you can do a thing called tempo play, where if you push one particular base and you get the cap timer down to 1 minute, but you fail to take it, the enemy still needs to wait 3 minutes until the base is fully saved, and in that 3 minutes your base is safe, you can jump to another lane to help pressure. So it's all about pressure on all the lanes, and if you attack 5 lanes at once and you maybe lose on 4 of them, well, you don't get the base. Well, if the 5th one goes through, that's all that matters. And that's that small edge that we've seen in previous server smashes, where you have a small edge, you keep the pressure up, and you slowly flip them base after base after base. And it's usually the large outposts are kind of like the linchpin, where this is this far and no further. So we'll see how today goes, realistically. We've got 90 minutes.
And yes, I have just received a link to the Korean stream. All 815 viewers.
Fantastic. Well, I certainly hope they enjoy it. Well, if you want to go watch the Korean stream, I'll be very disappointed if the Korean casters are not anything like those for StarCraft 2. Extremely noisy and shouty. Do you know, I could bring this up, who the leaders are today.
This is Moti on our call, 1 minute before match start. 1 minute.
I know that Briggs' leader today is Shang of RVNX.
That's not in the game document, alright.
He was the FC.
Alright, well that's 1 minute to go, so let's go up to the warp gates. As your typical standard gameplay, we see Briggs with lots of mosquitoes, maybe a galaxy or two, yep, and somebody has actually done a bounty on one of the mosquitoes. I don't know how that's possible, but I believe that's the bounty logo, which is a station cache type thing. Opening play, probably go Macau Auxiliary Compound if I'm Briggs, maybe do interdiction at Rock Slide, and maybe try and get early pressure on Deserted Mineshaft. You don't have to worry about the easternmost extreme flank. You need to make sure that Raven's Landing goes through, but you can fly there before the enemy from the eastern warp gate gets there. So
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. Good luck, everyone.
That's it. We're live. ServerSmash 68.
Today's question is how many people managed to crash. I've seen one who crashed on the Korean side.
Yeah, we got our standard split. Looks like it's one force going east and a middle force going up the center, probably to get Ravens and possibly Rockslide. Now, the thing is, everyone loves to bail out of their mosquitoes and then land on the roof of Mikhail Auxiliary Compound. I really like it to close your support stay, waiting for the enemy to drop and do the exact same thing and pound them on the ground.
Yep, so I am watching the bailout over...
Oh, wow, so the VS have gone for split peak early.
Now.
The VS have totally bypassed Auxiliary with their drop and have gone for a split peak, which to me seems like a mistake because it's a long 7-minute base. Why would you want to do that?
Yeah, no, just it's not. It's like almost a whole retrieval.
Have a look inside Mikhail Auxiliary. TR set up, infantry only. Although they are hacking the V-pad, you can expect to see the beginning of cheese. Here comes the Sunders. Under number 1, if we have a quick look at the map, see what's going on. There's contention going at Mikhail Auxiliary Compound. There's, wow, 2+ squads of VS at split peak. That's, I would call that a mistake, and they're also going for Bastion early as well, which means they're giving up Deserted Mineshaft, and they're giving up Mikhail Auxiliary Compound. They haven't got Rockslide either, which is their de facto base. Oh, I see the waypoint bug still in. They haven't got the Rockslide because it's been interdicted, which is almost flipping through. But the TR still holding it. Yep, TR still has it. Point has not flipped. And
You have to make a call here. The Koreans are going to pay your less.
What's wrong?
To go for it. The Koreans are going to pay your less than Briggs, and they decided to go for the match.
Oh, okay, so they're short. Well, I tell you what, it's up to you whether or not you want to grab some reserves and throw them on the Korean side.
Yeah, we'll see.
Why don't you go deal with that? So we have a fun game. Talk to the reserves, to the Briggs team, and see if they want to form a squad and just join on the enemy team and play for them, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, well that's kind of explaining what's going on. It is kind of, I guess, difficult to get kind of numbers. If we do check the populations, yeah, we do see there's a slight pop advantage for THR here, so we're just going to go with it. They maybe should have mentioned this a little bit earlier, but no matter. We'll play for it. We'll have a bit of fun, see how it goes. So the interdiction of Rockslide is going to hold, and what that means is that with Rockslide locked out, Raven's Landing will go through, and so long as the Rockslide lockout, because there's 20 people that you don't have, it means that Raven's Landing will go through, and then Lithcorp Central can be captured for free. We see Briggs has gone to Bastion, overpopping the VS. They're getting Deserted Mineshaft, although it's being contested, and Mikhail Auxiliary Compound is actually even numbers, so maybe we can see if there's going to be a save. 90 seconds, we see, oh, first set of maxes incoming, not necessarily coming as a single cohesive unit. Oh, there comes our max group. No engineer support, would have liked to have seen that, but spending precious nanites to push. The thing is, the TR from Briggs, they've got AV mines ready, they've got their rockets ready, and without engineer, without like a medic support, sorry, medic and engineer support, it does mitigate their effectiveness. However, they have brute forced their way through to the capture point and made a save. Nice to fly this camera. TR still has Sunder on the bay. They're using double beacons on the southwest, and they're also, if I saw briefly, yeah, look, see the Sunder here on the minimap on the left hand side, it means they can jump pad onto the roof. That's what the VS have to deal with, so the TR could very easily counter push and take this point back. And they can even re-pop and reinforce, which they do, they've got 57%. Up in the north, Deserted Mineshaft is being contested 60-40, but it looks like the TR is going to get it. Let's go have a look. It looks like they've also muscled the VS off Mikhail Auxiliary Compound. I wonder also how cohesive the Oh well, the VS have got a minute 24 to split peak. TR's going to have to deal with that. If they can perhaps stall them. No, you don't want to give them a killer artillery compound because they'll go for the tech plant. And there's a lot of places that we need to go have a look at. Let's go have a quick look at deserted mineshaft before that goes. Here we go. So what I was saying is about the cohesive of Briggs teams, and Briggs play on Briggs, they're outfit groups, they know each other, they know they have that kind of play style, so their ability to organize is going to be quite high. And the numbers that they brought is probably how many they have and the limit of how many Koreans can play. If the Koreans are 20 short, then that means they're kind of maybe kind of scraping at the barrel, trying to get as many people as they possibly can, so the effectiveness of their composition isn't going to be as great, even with the lower numbers, so it's kind of a double negative. Oh wow, and West Foothills air dock is also cut off. And we see Raven's Landing goes through, Rockslide still isn't started, and it just needs to grab a person on the point. So what you could see happening now is that Lithcorp Central starts ticking down, and then Rockslide comes into contention as well. McKellar Auxiliary Compound has been saved as well. But here comes the steal at Split Peak. No. Off we go. Actually flying in the right direction. There we go. Let's get over there. So the thing is, any base that's third faction can be stolen. You know, this isn't like an all or nothing for the VS cap. If the T-Hard grabs 2 capture points here, Briggs could take it, even though the VS have made all the effort, which is what we see the Briggs Air Force and the kind of air groups contesting for. Look, there's this. Alpha and Charlie is taken by TR. If Alpha Bravo go through for TR, they steal this on the 6th and 2nd marker, which is why it's kind of dangerous to send so many people so early. Alpha's taken. Bravo is flipping. It's going to go. Here we go. 3 seconds for the TR steal. Briggs is a steal. Hey, living up to their colonial roots. Well done, Briggs. But that is a learning curve for the VS Force Commander in that in the last minute, you shift population, and because of the nature of the 3 capture points on the north side of this base, which is very awkward, Delta you can lock down. But if you just drop people on the northern points, you only have to hold it for like 20-30 seconds. You don't give the enemy the time to react. Boom. And you steal the base. That is a 3-point base. It's quite significant. But the same can be said for Bastion, although it looks like heavy numbers in Bastion, they're not going to allow it to necessarily be capped quickly. It looks like if it's 9 minutes, it means 2 caps are 1 and 1 is the other. Maury, how are we doing with that, perhaps trying to balance the numbers here on the World Pop?
I'm asking if I can, the Briggs rep.
Why don't you just, you know, just jump in the channel, grab the reps and say, right, I'm going to make you into a squad playing for Briggs. Jump onto VS and go fight. It's that simple. Oh, power play here from Briggs. They got their deployed Sundra on Bravo. We got maybe some... Okay, hostile VS Sundra was coming up to threaten them. They got plenty of maxes. They got good engineer support in the maxes. That's another important issue. But they only have 1 capture point, stalling out the Bastion cap point. This allows their TR forces to mop up the rest of the map, you know, the single capture bases, and in comes the reinforcements. Double proxy rep Galaxies, very hard to take down. We see Briggs has all the air control right now over this base. They're going to throttle it, and then perhaps get rid of the spawn options for the Vanu Sovereignty, because they have to bring their spawn options in from Araxicom Network Hub. And then when the spawn options are down, they just simply mop up. And we see that the number's up to 70%. Split Peak Pass, the VS are trying to harass it, but the fact is Briggs, you know, with the population advantage they got and the way they got, they can afford to let that tick down, I guess, if they want to take Bastion. We also see the deserted mineshaft has been captured, so there's a strong play on Stone Ridge, and there's also an uncontested cap going at West Foothills Air Dock. Now, when a territory is cut off, you can't spawn there. It means you have to fly there and move there. And if Briggs has got, you know, the air locked down, it's going to be very hard. Oh man, you saw that there, right? Trying to get in reinforcements, just not happening. We could be in for a very rough 90 minutes for Crown. We can see the Alpha capture point slowly going. Let's have a look inside, shall we? It's going to be equally laggy for both teams playing from the Far East, connecting to an Eastern United States server.
The restricted area immediately. Restricted area. Move out, soldier.
Oh, Hero Heavy is trying to take care of the Maxes. But with Max with engineer support, it's just too tough. And the rule set didn't say anything about no Maxes and no anti-infantry guns on the Max, so it's here. It is what it is. It's very powerful if you can do it in an organised fashion. 3 capture points now completely in the groups of Briggs. Looks like Bastion's going to go in their favour. In the north, we see for the first time in many months of ServerSmashes that Stone Ridge Reserve is captured. That normally doesn't push beyond Zerd Mineshaft. We can see them probably going to Lithcorp Secure Mine, but Lithcorp Secure Mine is a large outpost, multiple points, so we'd see Crown maybe holding on to that. What else is going on? Split Peak Pass has been stalled. McCalla Auxiliary Compound down to 1:40. After Bastion, that's probably the next choice, I would say, for Briggs, just because you can threaten the tech plant. Not that you're going to see any mag riders. Tech plants are, the linchpin for mag rider tech. Not necessarily, it doesn't stop any liberators, but it's still an important point. It's like kind of a large outpost that stops you from progressing any further, extra territory and all that. Some Jugs players. What is? These motion sensors showing up at TR where they are on the south side of the base. We got the deployed Sunder, well not deployed, but combat Sunder in the vehicle bay. Not actually driving up though, because it is possible to take a Sunder, drive it in, up and around, and put it upstairs. It kind of locks down the capture point. It's very cheesy.
Push the advance.
Interesting, from the text from Mauti, it looks like Briggs organising help, some communities can communicate, so we should see the numbers balancing out. We always like to see a bit of Briggs on Briggs. The VS now from Crown, trying their damnedest to prevent the cap. Do you have a population reinforcement? They do, 70%, so somebody's reacted elsewhere. Now the problem about this is great from Crown, make it safe, but it's actually also good for Briggs as well. The meta from ServerSmash is you want to make the enemy play more numbers on a particular lane. So the way that ServerSmash works is that you have X number of lanes, and your only limited resource, other than nanites to an extent, is how many players you have. So if you can force the enemy to commit more numbers, so more than 50-50 to your fight, so if you bring 40% and the enemy has to then bring 60% to stop you, it means they are down 10% population somewhere else. So if we check the map, 76% population on auxiliary, McCalla Auxiliary Compound means that, look, they don't have anyone on Split Peak Pass, they have nobody on Lithcorp, they got a full defensive force at Rockslide, so they're balancing each other out. They have nobody on Araxicom Network Hub, so there's your population imbalance right now. And then in the north it's 50-50. So that overcommittal of pop to save McCalla Auxiliary Compound means that Split Peak Pass is going to be saved, possibly allowing the enemy to go East Hills Checkpoint, but more crucially, it means that they're losing an Araxicom Network Hub. And you can't play this constant sallying back and forth. And then the other problem is, if you keep this reserved sort of hammer that kind of moves around the map and keeps playing whack-a-mole, the instant you leave this base, Briggs could come back and harass it. Plus, you as the defending team now have to send the minimum amount of force at McCalla Auxiliary Compound to make sure it gets saved before you can honestly leave it and then try and play pressure on the next map, which is to the south for the Crown guys. Whereas Briggs can keep playing pressure, and then so we're seeing Crown also in the element of defense, always defense. But the thing is, look, Rockslide Outlook can't be contested by the TR. They're going to get it for free, right? So it's 1:46 compared to 2:17 on Lithcorp, which means the entire force here of 24 to 48 Crown players do not actually need to be there. It is a free base capture, so it's knowing the game mechanics and what population you can send and where you want to send them. What they really need to be is a Araxicom Network Hub, but you don't want to allow the enemy to get behind you and set up heavy defenses, like allowing them to get to the previous base, set up spawn sunders, set up multiplier sunders on the spawn room, lock you in with their air force. The worst thing you can do is actually redeploy onto the spawn room. You need to get ground or air control and brute force them back, and that's really, really hard when the enemy kind of steamrolls one particular lane and keeps you kind of balanced elsewhere. So I think, Briggs showing their experience here. I mean, they may not have as many numbers as the other servers, but they definitely have the experience on ServerSmash meta. How to play, how to push, when to attack, how to defend, that type of stuff. It's still a very crash course learning experience for Crown. We also have to think about the leadership of Crown. I'd imagine that Maddox is doing a lot of work. Oh, hey, Azure, welcome back.
Hello, I'm back.
So we were just conferring on how Crown is playing into Briggs' game of just redeployment meta, using a large reserve force to smash a save, but paying for it elsewhere. So there's a fight going on at Lithcorp Secure Mine. The Araxicom network hub is being contested because McCall Auxiliary Compound was about to go through, and then Crown dumped 70% population. They had to leave Split Peak, and that allowed East Hills to go through as well.
Yeah, no, so what I could see there is just looking at the map, obviously if they're dumping that huge pop there, they're leaving somewhere else under pop, and Briggs is just whittling each timer down because they're having to leave early, and now they're just on the back foot. I think that would be the picture I'm getting.
Yeah, Briggs is applying a pressure on multiple lanes, as we said before the stream, and then they force the enemy to use their precious manpower, and they're not winning their 50-50 fights. That's the important thing. So if you look at the map, East Hills is stable and static. McCall Auxiliary Compound is stable and static. That's fine. But they had too many people on Rockslide Outlook. They didn't need to be in Rockslide Outlook. Now, interestingly, they are trying a small harassment attack in Raxcom Substation. We have yet to see if Crown can even attack. They're barely doing defense at the moment, so can they do attack is an important question. But they're losing their 50-50 fight at Lithcorp Secure, and because of the population imbalance, they're slightly losing their Raxcom network hub, because they just don't have the people on all lanes. And this is... Well done for Briggs for taking the base. This is Briggs applying pressure on multiple lanes, and it's not like a Zergfit on live server where you just put 100 million people on one base, and then, you know, your team, even though you should have equal population, can't, you know, make the enemy pay by attacking other lanes, mainly because it's a three-way game. When it's a two-way game, one team each, you can punish enemies that clump up.
Yeah, of course, but in a two-way game, it is very much depending on how you balance your forces. You need to know how good each force is, and if that force can hold itself in 50-50 or below, so that you can reinforce a different location. Because at the end of the day, it does come down to manpower.
We have a Crown Air Force. Crown Air Force over at Lithcorp Secure Mine, attacking the Briggs Thunder group on Delta. That's their main spawn option right now. Driven up over the hills, you drive up from this base, up and over, and you can deploy on Delta. Very powerful location to be. It seems like they're trying to bottleneck the enemy in the Charlie cap point. So even with 50 numbers, oh, they even brought a Prowler, dude. Wow. So even with even numbers, force multipliers, such as Thunder spawn points and bottlenecking, is extremely powerful. If you are the Crown forces, you honestly really want to get rid of the multipliers like with the Air Force, as we just saw, but also you don't want to come from the spawn room, you want to come from behind, you want to get your own spawn Thunder option, you want to get your own kind of entry points. Coming from one location makes it very easy for the enemy to pin you down, you know?
Yeah, no, that's the thing is, if you're all just running through a single door, everyone just points the gun at that door and presses fire. They don't even really need to aim, you just point and shoot.
Now,
it seems what's happening up at the top, up at Charlie Point. It's just Briggs people sitting on the roof and Crown people coming out these two bridge walkway doors.
So this isn't like a consolidation prize, but Cthulhu in Twitch chat does say, how long did it take Miller to warp get Crown? And he's right, Crown played Miller, which are, I guess you could call them one of the stronger teams out of the whole kind of server group meta, if they really want to bring their A game. And Miller warp gated Crown within about an hour. So I commend Crown for coming back and trying again and again. I mean, they also have another game that Crown is playing, I think on the 26th, at the French group, so a bunch of French players rather than an actual server group. Oh, nice firework.
Yeah, no, I
like that.
Yeah, I saw that described as kimchi smash versus baguette smash.
Yes, it is. Oh, wow, there's a stall. Who's got to Charlie? What's going on? Oh, they got Delta? Oh,
they got Delta, so
nice.
Both Thunderers are being destroyed down
yes.
here. And
oh, excellent work. In terms of population numbers, 54%, so they're doing pretty good. Alright, that's nice. Crux Headquarters, however, is a base that is extremely vulnerable to ground and air saturation if the enemy team has it. And we also see that East Hill is going through.
What I can see here just saying is, it looks like Briggs has just pulled the pin on Lithcorp now, really, and just dropped everyone they can into Crux Headquarters.
Yep.
So you can see all those guys from Lithcorp Secure are now magically, with the power of redeploy side, appearing at Crux Headquarters down.
If you want to look at the wider meta, guys, the reason this is happening is that Lithcorp's secure mine hasn't gone through. So because it hasn't gone through, the population there doesn't need to fight there, because it's still going to take about 5-6 minutes for Lithcorp to be fully secure before the enemy can re-attack its Stormrace reserve, which means the entire Briggs force can leave and go to Crux. The defending force still has to leave some people there in case Briggs comes back, which means there's already a population balance at Crux. And the fight that's currently going on Rockslide, while it is extremely important, the population there is going to get cut off at Crux headquarters, because they're going to cut it off, so actually it's not important anymore. So everything resides on Crux headquarters. Briggs is applying the screw, applying the pressure, and you have to be able to read the map, realize what the enemy's intention is, and then counter it. And Crown does not have an answer right now to Briggs's air forces and Briggs's ground vehicle play on their base. You've seen this force here on Charlie. Crux.
On Charlie, but Crux.
It's a large vehicle
just
force.
Getting over there now. If the game would like to load in. Oh, yep. There we are. Oh, wow. You can just hear the sounds of Sunderers railing on that galaxy.
You send in a single galaxy, you send in a single bit of air force, that's a static anti-air kind of group. They've got themselves plenty of AP lightnings, they got double proxy rep Sunders, they got themselves a blockade. So they don't have an Hammer Sunder, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh wow, some even tried to use the AB turret. But in terms of the actual base itself, the threat is that you get pinned in on one spawn option. And then coming from Bravo is also kind of awkward, but they do have both cap points. In terms of population numbers, it's 54 to 46, so Crown is reinforcing, but at what cost? We do see them attacking Lithcorp Central, that's fantastic from Crown. However, they are losing East Hills checkpoint, and this is like we said at the beginning, small margins. It doesn't matter if Briggs doesn't take Crux, which is turned into 48 to 96. They realize the value of it. What matters is that small pressure on the flanks, keep the enemy pinned down, don't let them go somewhere, and then win your 50-50 fights. And if you can't win all your 50-50 fights across the map, and one particular lane is slightly stronger than the enemy, you start winning, you start losing. You know, it's that percentage points start flipping against your favor.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now, is looking at Crux headquarters. It looks like the Briggs forces are slowly pulling their way out, and they'll set up for another couple of pushes, but they've just pushed through East Hills, so they had 3 bases on the go. They pulled out of 2 of them and got the 3rd, and now Crown's sitting there with 2 bases that they've just got to effectively ghost cap back down to a 0-0 timer to even advance on.
So,
and in that time, Briggs can come back and resume it.
So, to give you an example of the level of competency when it comes to attack, when Briggs is attacking, they're going to a base that's low population, low numbers. They will bring an Air Force element, or they'll bring a spawn Sunder. So, for example, if we were seeing an enemy team attacking Lithcorp Central, where we're at right now, we'd expect to see multiple Sunders driven up onto the capture point, deployed and ready, and only then would the capture point flip, and the enemy team would have a strong kind of base and setup, because you know you're going to hold it for 2 minutes. It's what happens after those first 2 minutes, because we see Briggs is responding and just dominates the local area. You need those extra multipliers to anticipate the overpop committal of the defending forces. And you even need those multipliers to win your 50-50 fights as well.
Yeah, no, well, if you're a 50-50 and you can put a Sunder on point, then you've effectively just won yourself, unless the other team is infinitely more coordinated than you are.
Or they have to bring more people. And that's ultimately the goal in your lane. Win the lane, or force the enemy to send more people than what you've got, which means your other lanes are doing better, because they have to fight fewer people.
Yep, and we're seeing that again at another south gate, of course. Briggs instantly pushed up onto there, redeployed up, and now they've forced the Koreans to go 60-40 with them. So they're obviously bringing in extra people to try to counter that, but of course that leaves them open to attack down at both Lithcorp and Crux, and now even Mekla.
Oh man, we got some Crown harassers here, 4 or 5 harassers, but the Air Force from Briggs is here, rocket pounding these harassers. The harassers trying to get, I don't actually know what they're trying to do. Maybe go for the Sunder options? Okay, it worked. I'm not gonna argue. Got one of the Sunders. Oh, but dude, check the armor column going into the center from Briggs. And this is it. Harassers do exactly what their name says. They harass. They do not brute force. They do not tank. They do not pass go and collect $200.
Yeah, no, that's the entire way of harassers. You just go in and take hot shots, and then you get out of it. You don't have the HP to sit in there, but you do have the speed to be in and out of this destroy those critical targets. So if Crown has any kind of spawns close to their base, then harass is the #1 way to take that out.
And things
Especially
another
when
thing that
supported by this Air Force.
another thing that Crown is doing, not poorly, but it could just be the nature of their, by going by a nation rather than a server group, is they might not have the same cohesiveness that Briggs does. So we're seeing a lot of individual maxes, individual people going in certain areas, kind of more kind of live server play rather than a max with an engineer and a medic kind of backing him up, that type of thing, you know?
But you see that in multiplayer play. The really good teams, they do group up into a ball. They have all their people in one point and they push forward as a unit. If you're coming in as 12 people, then you're a hell of a lot more likely to win than if you're coming in as dribs and drabs of one.
Man, it is getting absolutely brutal right now on a Crux. Back to 48.96 for the TR.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, of course, so Crux Briggs is now overclocking there, but they've managed to counterweight that by forcing Crown to go really hard in on Anatha Southgate. So obviously that was 50-50 before, then it was 60-40, and now it's 70-30. So they've really forced it in on.
And this is kind of doubly negative for Crux. Man, there's so many vehicles and multipliers around this base, and this is the weakness of Crux. The counterpart to Crux headquarters is Araxis Firearms. It is a large outpost that blocks the lanes, preventing any further kind of free movement on the map, so it has to be defended. However, Araxis Firearms is like a freaking bastion. It's got walls on one side and a single entry point in the bridge. That is one of the strength points of the Southern Warp Gate as a map selection. Both, have multiple strengths and weaknesses throughout the map. Crux headquarters is a weak base because it can be penetrated in so many directions and is on ground level for all these ground vehicles. And the Air Force's ability to mitigate the enemy coming at the spawn rooms, because they have long runs to the capture points, which is slightly less of a factor when you're talking Araxis Firearms, because you're much closer to the buildings from your teleport rooms. So all of this is just compounding.
Is Crux is quite literally a Swiss cheese of a base, and I mean the capture point runs, the closest run you can get to point Bravo as a defender is 90 meters across open ground. Like, if the Briggs guys, as they are sitting up on the hills with TR Maxes just raining down bullets, then it's not exactly...
Got a 1v1 for Charlie. No, for Alpha Cap Point, 1v1 engineer versus... oh wow, another engineer. The Crown wins! Charlie, Alpha Cap Point, for a little bit longer. He's making the base go long, but I'm not sure what they can...
yeah, it looks like some stolen tactics, but nothing really long term.
Yeah, we see the East Anatha Southwest Gate is saved. McKell Auxiliary Compound, fresh pressure, 2 minutes to go. Lithcorp Central, 1 minute. Actually, let's check out the Lithcorp again. Lithcorp Secure Mine still going through minutes 2 at 30. Now NC Arsenal is being harassed, and it's just putting on fires. Like, is your force composition unwieldy, large, big platoons holding multiple lanes, or is it more diversified, many multiple smaller groups that can go elsewhere? Because if you can have lots of small groups just applying pressure every possible place, it makes it very difficult and very stressful for the enemy to defend.
Well, yeah, Briggs really has taken that shotgun approach to attacking. They've just, anything that they can see, they've put someone on it to start the cap timer, and they just commit to whichever one seems the most likely to go through. And just as a reminder, we'll be giving away a 4th anniversary bundle at the end of the stream, so if you stick around for that,
we are?
we'll be doing a...
Oh, awesome. How are we doing that? Are we doing a raffle in chat?
Yeah, we've moved.
Yeah, that's
cool.
what Rob's just told me.
Can I apply for that? Can I put my name in?
Of course, you only need a Twitch account to do so.
Yeah, I've got Planetside Battles 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I can try.
So, pretty much anyone in chat except for Planetside Battles admins and senior staff, you guys can't. You can apply for the 4th anniversary bundle, which we'll give away. So.
We will have one for each match incoming, so this one, the match for the American servers, and the one for the European servers.
Alright, we're going to go check McKell Auxiliary Compound now, because that is the...
And in the time that I've been saying that, Briggs has forced Lithcorp Secure through, so they've applied pressure multiple times there, and we're now 20 seconds away from Crux headquarters.
Yeah, oh man, the thing is they've got another multiplier. They've got a Battle Sunder watching the outside of the spawn room, so it's incredibly difficult. It does go down, but the important thing is it buys a few seconds. And they even have Air Force pounding the room. That's what multipliers do. They buy you 10-15 seconds. Get enough of them, you buy yourself 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, it really at the end of it, it becomes the stalling tactic as
This
to
is
who
Motion
can stall the other team for long enough to get the cap timer through to where they need it.
Did you hit my...
Victory is
Yep,
ours.
I heard the 1 hour thing. It's about 2 or 3 seconds off from the camera, but ultimately, guys, the referee's clock is what matters, not the one on the stream. And yeah, you're right. So the McCalla Auxiliary Compound flip goes through. Do they have an info already? Yeah, McCalla Tech Plant. So they already had people at the next base, which means the entire population of VS here, which don't have spawn options and logistics to stay in this fight, it's irrelevant anyway because they now have to go back to McCalla Tech Plant. Now, because they have the tech plant, they can go back to McCalla cart mining, and they can still bring heavy vehicles and get rid of the spawn options. And theoretically, they can defend the tech plant easier than they could McCalla Auxiliary Compound, but it's still less than ideal. Crux headquarters, geez, still 48 to 96 brute force, 50-50, and there's so many multipliers that are outside of the base that the infantry numbers are higher for the Crown forces on the Crux, but they're just getting pounded, right?
Yeah, well, looking at it, it looks like Crown managed to secure Bravo Point just towards the end, and now Briggs is really looking like they're pulling out and moving their forces, presumably to one of the other 3 or 4 bases they've got under attack right now.
Well, you could go for a cannon motor pool, brute force that. The biolab at cannon's still weird, isn't it? I'm not sure how easy that can and can't be fought for, but the thing is, if you get that, it opens up a whole bunch of bases between you and Sungray Amp Station.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is, Crux headquarters, of course, is sort of a keystone of this map, and wow, just whilst we're talking, Briggs has brought in their entire Mosquito force over to Crux headquarters, so maybe they are still committed to this base. But of course they are forcing Mekla, they've pulled out of NC Arsenal, and they're now forcing Ickenham Motor Pool.
As a Crown player, I can't help but feel I'm running the gauntlet. They've got a lot of anti-air maxes coming out the spawn room, just doing harassment force, but with so many air units, what can you do against that many? But the thing is, once you've run up and you've grabbed the capture point, I guess that's what matters. Hide inside the building and wait for the defense.
Exactly, yeah.
Bravo
really
is swarming with Crown. And the numbers are actually skewed, isn't it? Briggs has all these people flying around and shooting in the Air Force, but they're not actually fighting on the ground.
Yeah, no, most of Briggs, I'd say almost half of Briggs' numbers at Crux right now are up in the air, so down on the ground it really is Crown's game, and that's something we've seen in the past. Whilst it looks even on paper, those aircraft can be deceiving. Useful for keeping people out of the point, but if you're going up against a group that's already secured in the point, well, there's not much point in it.
Yeah, but the thing is, you may win the battle by defending Crux headquarters, but you'll lose the war because this population sink of 56% Crown now means that the NC Arsenal is a long, small harassment thing. Ickenham Motor Pool has actually been saved. I'm going to check that 124, but Rockslide is ticking.
Ickenham Motor Pool's stalling out again, but Rockslide is definitely ticking down. Briggs is defending East Hill's checkpoint.
Oh, Briggs just crushed Charlie on Crux.
Nobody's made a move on the Zealous side of the map right now.
The what side?
Is Zealous out of play?
Yes.
Zealous Northgate.
Yeah,
okay.
Is along with the Scent as well.
Okay. So of course, got a couple of plays going, but it looks like right now Crown has temporarily at least managed to put out most of their fires.
There's, okay, we got a Crown Galaxy, we got a couple of close air support Mosquitoes. Oh wow, we got a Crown Air Force! Take that, Mosquito! Maybe choosing to engage, let's follow. Oh, but did they ram into each other? They did! Ah! So we got a mixture of ground support, Scythes, Mosquitoes, and then air intercepting Scythes trying to do something. They know the spawn option is on Alpha, but with 60 seconds to go. Oh well, actually there's a deploy sunder right next to the capture point. You'd have to say with that close logistics for the Crown, they can take the capture point, which looks like what's happening. They're also still pounding the spawn option logistics for Briggs, but it's still not dead. But they get the cap point back, but at what numbers? What population do they have to send? 60% to 40. It means they don't have the numbers into the arsenal. It means they've still got an overcommittal at Crux headquarters, so that means that Rockslide is going to go through.
In that time, Briggs has now gone on the attack at another Southgate
Yep.
and Rockslide out to look. Of course, they are overcommitting to the relative numbers there right now, but they've got that wiggle room because they're the ones on the attack, and Crown is overcommitting on a lot of their defenses.
Yeah, and so it's another minor thing, right? This entire game, we have seen Crown doing very staunch defenses and trying to kind of shore up all the holes and losing one base at a time at a trickle. We're not seeing, other than the Lithcorp Central, there has not been any serious attack from Crown. And that is what signifies a good team from a great team, is that anybody can defend, anybody can play that sort of defensive gameplay, but eventually if you play defensive too long, you're not going to get anywhere. And we have seen previous ServerSmashes where teams try to attack again and again and again, but they lose on the 2-minute marker, because to objectively attack, to form the logistics, to form the multipliers, to get a particular base, that's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah, well, because when you're on defense, you've got your hard spawns, they're generally well placed, and the bases have been designed so that there are ways to get into the base from the spawns, and really to defend, all you've got to do is destroy all their spawns. Whereas if you're on attack, you're defending your spawns, you're defending the point, and you're trying to anticipate when they'll send that huge force to come and counter you.
And the thing is, the Briggs force are, if anything, they may have lost the capture point, but they've got so many multipliers on the outside, they're actually getting a stranglehold. Yeah, because we see a Prowler's turned up as well, along with the multiple deployed Sunders around the base. Prowler's moving in to get rid of some of the vehicles from Crown. The Air Force has turned up, man.
Yeah, well, looking at the population distribution now, it looks like Briggs has decided that they're going to force an Econom motor pool, so just dump pop into it and solve the problem that way.
When in doubt, fire people at it.
Exactly. Oh, and they've also brought their whole Air Force into there now, so
yep, we're watching
obviously
that right
trying to keep the Koreans back at the spawn room.
Elsewhere, Crux headquarters is about to be fully saved, but they've lost Rockslide, which means it's not just a case of attacking our Axcom network hub. The tech plant at Macalla is about to be saved, although it's 12-24 people at position. And the next one is Anatha Southwest Gate at minute 37, so decisions. I think we're going to go to Macalla because it'll go through first. On the Air Force from Briggs is left as well, so one big dominating attack, force Briggs, reset them back to the cap room, and then, leave and go to somewhere else. Ooh, Crown's got himself deployed blockade gate diffusing Sunder. So blockade is extra armor and gate diffusing is to go through a shield, so it's not necessarily designed for I'm parking right in front of you, why don't you kill me? This is exactly what Briggs is doing. Rockets on the roof, very hard to stop it, but it is giving them close spawn options, getting into the building as quick as possible. Population numbers, 59% for Crown. They should, with the numbers, make it safe here. But it's Jugs on this lane, being harassing, annoying guys, keeping the pressure up.
Stay frosty. This fight is all but
Yep,
won.
so looking at Anatha, inside that point, what have we got? Of course, falling around the outside.
38 seconds to go, and Crown needs to just YOLO in now. Oh, here we go.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is honestly, at this point, if Crown can just start getting people in there, they'll overwhelm the Jugs guys by sheer force of numbers. They don't have enough
63%. Yeah, it's whack-a-mole, isn't it? But the thing is, that means Jugs now has 3 minutes to go do something else. They may save Macalla Auxiliary Compound. They're quite far away. They could send even more numbers to Crux, but it's a long cap. There isn't really an option, because Motorpool's going to go through anyway as well.
Yeah, so that's what I was about to go up and look at. Motorpool, of course, sitting at about 20 seconds now. So we can see...
They've even got some TR forces back on the point, though. Jugs hasn't left this. They are heavily outnumbered now, right?
Yeah, they'll be trying to stall it out for as long as they can to play the time game.
Oh, we got Mag Riders! It's just a little
We are
bit too
getting
late.
close to halfway.
But we do have more Mag Riders at a kind of motor pool. Had the Mag Riders turned up, maybe they did turn up earlier, but had they turned up perhaps a little bit earlier, they could have got rid of the spawn Sunders. You get rid of the spawn Sunders, you get rid of the spawn logistics, and you win the base. Or, in this case, the base defense. I've never seen a fight at Econom on this particular map setup. No one's ever really gotten beyond Deserted Mineshaft before. How on earth do you get in the base? That's a good question. I never fight here for a reason.
I believe
the jump pads aren't there.
You've only got the teleporters to get into the space.
Crown's Air Force turns up a little bit late. Magna's still prowling around, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it looks like Briggs is sort of just they've capped Dick and M motor pool and decided, okay, goodbye, we're gonna go on to something bigger and better.
There's also up pads at the air pads. Let's have a quick look and kill him then. Yeah, so one thing we saw a little bit earlier, guys, was that it was 60-40 for Crown at Anatha Southwest Gate when they made the save, and it was 60-40 in favour of the attackers at Icona Motorpool with all the multipliers. So that's where the population imbalance was, but they were both offensive attacks for Briggs. So Briggs gets one of them. That's fine. You need to... The goal here, as you keep saying, is to train your group and guys to win your 50-50s, your 50-50% population fights, or make sure the enemy can't get set up, and it's proving to be very, very difficult for Crown. Going for the SEU generator shield protecting gen, and that's maybe the play they're going for, although they're kind of flipping the points. You'd have to say if Crown was going to defend anywhere, it would be the Biolab. Looks like NC Arsenal is just harassment attacks, and God, Crux Headquarters is probably going to go for the whole rest of the game.
Yeah, no, honestly, I can't see Crux Headquarters getting anywhere unless one team decides to drop their entire population on it.
It's the red line for the Crown. You can't afford to lose it, can they?
No, they can't. If they lose it, then they're set. Like Blackshard Tungsten is nigh on impossible to defend against a decent Air Force. And then Amerish RX, they're straight to Warpgate, and from there, all Briggs really has to do is just take Jagged Lands, Shade Sky Farms, Crux Mining, and well, the Korean side's cut off.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7 or 8 maxes from the TR pushing from the bridge south of Alpha up to Crux Headquarters B. I heard you like Bert, so we brought more Brrr.
Exactly. That's the theme of the day with the TR. If you go near any one of their fights, all
more DACA.
It's just the sound of machine guns. Crux Headquarters is stalling out again and being recapped by the Crown. But that's the thing, is the Crown can't afford to abandon defending that base, but at the same time all Briggs needs to do is just tickle it every now and again, and they've got to keep a large force there.
Well, there's no Air Force here, so this sort of harassment attack, the Crown is defending admirably at Crux with equal numbers. When there's no, like, I mean, it's also all these vehicles watching the spawn, the vehicle spawn and that type of stuff. It's still not kind of going in their favour. And if anything, oh, just looking at Charlie, what's going on there? It's a bloodbath, but the fact is Crown is holding. When there's the multipliers aren't going all over the place and there's kind of population imbalance or whatnot, it seems like they can hold. Although population is going up to 56%, I wonder if just brute force numbers as an actual people on the ground, not in vehicles, would make a difference at Crux. Or to try and kind of bottleneck the two spawn room areas.
Is whilst they are force multipliers, those vehicles can cripple you. Vehicles don't cap points, in a nutshell.
Oh, this is interesting. Could this be the first successful capture of a base for Crown? Macalla Auxiliary Compound, 60 seconds to go. They've pushed out from their tech plant. I guess it is a good base for infantry only, although it's very light numbers, very light numbers. Here comes the defensive push right now from Briggs. They got a spawn option and a spawn room, people coming in from two directions, no reinforcements from Crown, which is typically what you want to do as attacker. You want to reinforce your numbers as the counter goes on.
I wouldn't be quite so quick to say that they have just completely removed themselves from Anatha Southwest Gate, so we could see them freeing up population to head right down here to Mecca.
It's 30 seconds. I mean, don't get me wrong, they could counter push the Briggs off even if Briggs does get the capture point, but hey man, they're holding their own right now. The little 1v1 fights, you win the first one, you get killed on the second one, and that's it. 20 seconds to go.
Briggs is knocking on their door. The point's stalled out, so they're winning. They are winning
stalled
time,
though.
And that's it. That cap point's going through.
No Max, no Engineer, no Sundra. Oh man, the Natha Southwest Gate. Not only is there a save now, Southwest Gate also goes through. You don't leave. How should I put this? You don't leave a base to go attack a base. You know, you don't abandon a base defense to go for a base offense. This is an extremely dangerous attack, you know, thing to do, because in this case, Crown is now punished. They don't get McKell Auxiliary Compound, and they lose Anatha Southwest Gate.
Loyalty until death.
Yeah, it really is quite. It'll be quite damaging to their score.
Double
overall, just to that.
Yeah, but we got double Biolab fights now, Ikonom and Anatha Biolab, and so this is the kind of the key moment of the game where we're 44 minutes to go. What happens now with the Crown? Because there are no more small 1-point bases to go. It is either a tech plant, a 3-point base at Crux Headers, or a double Biolab, or NC Arsenal, which is multi-point. So we see that the Crown has been able to defend at Crux Headquarters. Vehicles, multipliers, and Air Force, it doesn't really matter much. The population's slightly closer, ever so slightly still out of sync. You know, Briggs has slightly more by a few percentage points. But the base defense strength from a Biolab, all that type of stuff, it's hard. You know, it definitely favors defenders. So it's now to see whether or not Briggs can push it.
We have just seen Ikonom's spawn shield go down. So the SCU isn't down yet, but the shield itself is indeed down.
Yes, it is. Oh, the spawn stuff. Yeah, the spawn generator shields are down. That's right.
That's something that I'm seeing here from Briggs, is they're not quite so much fussed about holding all of these points. They're really trying to push into that SEU, and it makes sense from a
here's
standpoint.
A question from future content I saw from yesterday's anniversary stream, right? The engineer deployable, that sort of protector thing. What's going to stop in a ServerSmash you just blocking off the doors and the corridors? I assume you can shoot it and blow it up.
I assume so. I've not really had that much chance to play with it, but I assume that it can only take a certain amount of damage before it just explodes.
I can just imagine if you have maxes, right, as this one kind of gameplay player with engineer support, who then put down a kind of a shield to protect themselves, it really makes entrenching for the attackers or the defenders when they get to a certain point really powerful.
Well, especially if they can play it like a chicane, so just make it so that you can't run straight into the point. If they've got to duck and weave through all of these little low grates.
Yeah, and you have to waste time to blow up as well, right? So.
Well, and it also gives the defenders some nice points to lob grenades into. If everyone was stuck in a little corner.
Oh, and you could do some basketball grenades where you put it down and bounce grenades off of it. Get your right angle.
Yeah, you can just lob grenades in between them as they run through and explode all your enemies.
In terms of population, it's 54-46. Crown have a slight advantage. They've, you know, Ikonom's not going anywhere. NC Arsenal, very small number of fights, not going anywhere. Crux Headquarters, 55-45. It's very slowly ticking down in favor of Crown, actually, even though they're under pop, but that's probably due to the large number of ground vehicles and air units over Crux Headquarters. McCall Auxiliary Compound, small numbers fight going on. The real fight, I guess, right now is Anatha Biolab. There isn't really anything else, and it's whether or not Jugs can continue to apply maximum pressure. And because if you go into a Biolab, but you are quick about it, you spawn camp them, you lock them down, even on equal numbers, you can take the Biolab, because it's not like a 4, 5, 7 minute fight. It is SCU compromised. That's what's important.
Anatha now is Jugs is pushing hard for that
SCU, yeah.
Shield down, and they've already got a number of people onto that SCU.
Not charged
yet.
Yet.
Rigged it yet. But they have just put a max in there and 6 infantry, so I would say that that's about to go.
Yeah, he's been charged now, and that's the important thing. It's not a 7-minute base cap, guys. It's like a 3-ish base minute cap. You need to do 90 seconds on the first gen, and then you need to do 60 seconds on the SCU gen. And in 50 seconds, we do know that the Crown has a Sundra in the vehicle bay. They do have a backup, but the point is it's a single teleporter into the base. If you really want to win this as the Crown, you need to destroy the spawn Sundra on the air pad, and maybe the spawn Sundra on Anatha Southwest Gate, which means getting vehicles at the vehicle pad. But when the SCU's at 30 seconds, can you really afford those people? You can't. You have to get the generator back, which is what's happening. Max crash, single guy, well not crash, but one guy charged in, gets rid of the enemy TR Max, second Max from VS is here, the generator is secured, one hero is trying to save it, But there's a medic behind. Is he going to stop him? No, he's not. Oh, just at the end. They make a stabilization, so it's not over yet.
Max
but all 3 capture points.
Work inside that capture point right now, and
so what now is Briggs? You go to plan B, take the 2 capture points. We've got 3.
Well, they've just got someone back onto that point who's just reprimed the SCU. So they are still, of course, holding all 3 points.
SCU's been re-triggered again.
This is an interesting play for them. I guess they're trying to use the SCU
man.
as a kind of stalling.
The Briggs
tactic to get
heavies.
the Crown to focus that.
The Briggs heavies are running around Rocket Primary. Oh, shotgun Crown
what
medic.
I'm seeing right now is Briggs using this SCU to draw the Crown's population away from the points. Because I mean, if they lose the SCU, they lose the base. But then if they've got 3 points, and they also lose the base.
The thing is that you've lost the surprise element, which means the population's now got up to 64%. I mean, okay, that means they took the Calor Auxiliary Compound. We missed it. Crown took a base. Okay. Alright, that's cool. That's cool. I don't want to be condescending, but we see that population was taken away from Crux and dumped onto Anatha, and it means that if that's the game plan, where you take population from major outposts to save another major outpost and then make it save at Anatha, then this could go on for half an hour before you apply enough pressure to take one of these bases, because it's between the 2 biolabs and Crux headquarters. That's where all the fighting's going on, and you have to lower the timers on all 3 of them, edging a little bit, take a minute off Crux, then take a minute off Anatha, then take a minute off Ickenham, and then repeat the process if that's what Crown's going to do by, throwing their population over the place.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is you can turtle your way out of or into any of these situations. You can turtle back out of being on the defensive by just edging your cap timers inch by inch back towards your own favour, or if you're on attack, you throw everything at it and do the kitchen sink, you get to a minute, wait for them to recap and pull out, then you go back in, and you just keep edging it closer and closer. And again, we can see Crux headquarters is stalled out again.
The population numbers are slightly rebalancing, yep. Ickenham ticking down again, so we'll go check that out. But it looks like we're realistically just looking between these 3 bases. I'd be interested to see if Araxicum goes anywhere.
Well, yeah, what I can see right now is it looks like everything's sort of stabilized for the moment. Nobody's really that... Well...
Not really,
like
Anatha Bio is being threatened again. 2 cap point?
Oh,
3 cap point? I was going to leave, but I think we'll stay here briefly. It's still a 3.5 minute fight. The SCU, however, has been reclaimed by the TR for Briggs, probably by Jugs guys, so it's going to get overloaded. Yep, overloaded. Another 60-second death timer. Here we go again. Now, can the populations that were redeploying from other bases get back? You don't see the nanites is also going to be an issue. Do you have people that can get enough nanites to the max? Can you then charge in? Oh, I tell you what, here's a max. Doesn't have an engineer, but here's a max.
Looks like Briggs is putting everyone they can onto that SCU now. Like they've let they were letting Bravo fall for a moment, and I saw a lot of people just running into the SCU. So I'm going to assume that's their tactic here. Just... Well,
it's 16 seconds. It's the closest they've gotten it so far. They are slowly chipping away at the TR's maxes. But there isn't a concerted push. It has to happen now. Has to go. In they go. 6 seconds.
Have just got some revives up on that point.
But the maxes are doing enough work.
Another 2 maxes on that.
Well, now comes the... They got engineers. Can you repair? Do you even have the point? They don't have control. No, there's still a maxed up.
TR's got control. So, that's pretty much game, set, and match here, I'd say.
Oh, the Sundra and the V-Bay is gone as well. It just disappeared on the minimap. Oh, maybe it's moving to deploy, I don't know. But that's it, because now you've given the enemy enough time to basically camp the spawn room, camp the air pads, grab all 3 capture points. That's it.
It's 40 seconds left. You've got maybe a chance to make 1 push if you're very organized.
You'd need multi-points. You can't go for the SU repair. And this means that... Actually, it means Eastern Natha Comma Ray and Training Shore, which is the design of this map, is kind of poor. Biolab is actually multiple points because it cuts off territory now. And it means that Northgate is going to be capturable, but Crux Mining Operation is another multi-point base before you get to the Warp Gate. We also see Crown is actually pushed out from Ickenham and is attacking Motorpool slightly. And, Araxicum substation is actually going through, so we'll check that in 11 seconds. So that's the first of the major outposts taken, and it's just really, really, really strong pressure.
Yeah, I'm looking over here at a Raxcom substation now. Pretty much looks like Briggs is just ignoring it. I cannot see a single Briggs man really doing anything here.
Okay, so the vehicle bay is destroyed. We're checking that out. We've got 3 Briggs people coming up. It's like one... What, a heavy maybe? Yep, enemy heavy spotted with an SMG. GG. On the capture point. Well, there's even a Galaxy incoming. If it wasn't enough, Soka's coming in with a Gal. How many people are in the Galaxy? Let's find out. 7. Well, this isn't going to end well. I wouldn't take the rocket launcher out, guys, and shoot it. Oh, that's interesting. They don't drop on the capture point, they drop on the high ground.
It sounds very Soka of them.
Yeah, and then they get the high ground, they can kill off the resistance, and then they can take the cap point. I know Crown is desperate for numbers and whatnot, but this is kind of an instance where it would be cool if you could reinforce. Like, guys, we're down to like 30 seconds here or something. Why don't you send me some people? Or if you're these individual people, right? And we do see some more people. It's more than just 2 guys. It's like 4 or 5 at least, right? Is it possible for you to bring up a Sunder from a Cal Auxiliary compound? Because that was purely an infantry-only drop on the cap point with 40 seconds to go. What if your 6 guys had 2 proxy rep Sunders on the capture point with like Fury Bulldog or Fury Walker, that type of thing? You've got anti-air gun defense, you've got repair defense. Wow, the Mosquito hurting Morbius for teammates in his own team. You know, and you can hold the point. And oh wow, they managed to retake the point slightly with the 4 guys, but with the number of TR coming from the spawn room.
I'm just over here at Crux now, and you can see Briggs has got 2 Prox repair Sundays looking over the the bridge from Charlie. They've got a harasser up at Bravo, looking down at that spawn room. I don't think this is going to be a tough nut for the Koreans to crack, I think.
Briggs, the Crown must have a spawn spawn option's gone. There was a stealth Sunder on near A, so they did have a Sunder, but it wasn't like a battle Sunder on the point, so this is the last number, it's going to be whittled off. They are trying to beacon and do reinforcements that way, but I think it's lost. You have to kind of take your losses when it happens. But they have 67% population. Alright, alright. So East Anatha Comrade is going to go down, and East Shore is going to go as well. The Anatha Northgate isn't going to go anywhere just yet. Crux headquarters 2 minutes 10. This is probably the biggest play of the game. They're trying to be... No, they're not going to get cut off if Raxcom network goes through for the Crown. The Crown is losing on economic mortar pill, so we're going to choose Crux.
I'm sitting here watching Crux right now because with less than 2 minutes on the clock, if this goes through, which it looks like it's very close to right now.
Oh, the... Okay.
Oh, there's a Max running into Alpha Point. So
there's air support and this infantry. So Raxcom substation is actually going to go through. Some air force has turned up, doing a little bit kind of splash support. They've got themselves a squad on the cap, and they got rid of that annoying TR Galaxy.
Yeah, I think that Briggs has just made the decision that they're going to force Crux headquarters at this point. They just...
Sack it. This is more important. 96 plus. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I'm going to come over there in about 12, 11 seconds.
Yeah, no.
Oh, another Galaxy taken down as well. So they're... Oh, another Soka Galaxy, possibly? No, this is Jugs. Jugs coming in from the eastern front. Is it not enough to take it? So they did actually try at the very, very, very end. Now the question is whether or not Crown can hold on to this. And also, we're going to have to leave now to go check out Crux headquarters. They get the cap point, but they don't have any logistics. They don't have any multipliers right here to give them continued spawn options. So we will see.
Yep.
Alright, off we go to Crux.
Crux headquarters is just being absolutely shelled by Briggs right now. Obviously, they're in a rush to get that point back.
Oh, right, they want to make a
very
quick cap.
close spawn to it.
They do. They have the Sunder right next to
Bravo.
it. It's just a medic and his 2 buddies. We'll hold the world, bro.
Crown has retaken the Bravo point over here at Crux headquarters.
God, I remember this building from Lane Smash. I'm getting PTSD when we held this from both sides. From like 24 people really wanted to come in. All right, awesome. Okay, TR taking Alpha point at Crux. However, they've then lost the Bravo point, so that's whack-a-mole for you.
That's the thing though, of course, we can say that once they've taken this Alpha point, it is a bit further away than any of the other points, so...
Yeah, I mean...
it being...
The Charlie's not going to happen. Charlie point's locked down by double Sunder with external Galaxy. It's the furthest run of the capture points, okay? The Bravo point is easiest to get to, but it's still a bit of a gauntlet, and they even have lightnings and they're camping the spawn room, so it's Beacon and those who are already at Bravo have Bravo. Alpha is so far away, you probably have to come from another base. And this is the thing, it's still 3 minutes. A lot can happen in 3 minutes, but Crown holding onto Bravo is not enough. Eventually they'll need to get something else, but it looks like Briggs is the one who wants the capture point more.
Yeah, well right now I can see Briggs angling those mosquito rocket pods into the doors of Bravo point here, just absolutely bombing the site. And now we've got Maxes coming in, so I think they're going to get the retake on here. Of course, Charlie point is falling now. The Team Korea has, or the Crown has...
It's a brutal bloodbath.
Man,
Man, it's absolutely... Oh yeah, the Sunders, I guess, on the outside, if you don't have the infantry on the inside, because you need to also watch the other entry door on the south side. Yeah, and they got a lot of people in the cap point now as well, at least a squad or 2. Have they matched the numbers? They have. It's 50-50 now. If anything, it's 1+, 96+ in Crux headquarters. We've got 28 minutes left in the game. 50-50 numbers also at Rackham substation, and, well, 56-44, so Crown's losing their game. Oh, but check it out. Anatha Biolab re-attacked with 1 minute 40 to go, so Jugs, who left and are probably attacking Araxicum substation, are now out of position, and they're not at Anatha Biolab. Crux headquarters, as brutal as this fight is, Crown holds, and he's continuing to hold.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing. Is Crown has, in this last 30 minutes or so of the game, seems to have found their groove and is going back on the offensive, really.
And the population numbers continue to get closer. Right, gonna go off to the battle lab now and see if this is just a harassment attack or is it seriously gonna go through. No, it doesn't look like it. I mean, you're digging a biolab, but if you surprise the enemy and you go for it, you need to hit it hard.
Yeah, well, you need to blow the
the SU's down. No. So they didn't do the cap points, or maybe they did, but the point is, SU's 15 seconds to go. In comes the Max. They need to stall this last push right now.
There's no quit in a TR, soldier.
Alright, Max is down. The TR's coming in from Beacon on the air pad. Maybe they can do something about it. SU goes down, question mark? There you go, goes down.
Yep.
SCU destroyed.
This is how you steal a biolab, I guess. And the thing is, you take the biolab back for this, but the thing is, you haven't even lost a Raxicum substation, so this is nice work from Crown. They still need to make a save in NC Arsenal, being harassment force. Ickenham Motor Pool has bought them kind of time, so they're off Ickenham. Crux headquarters isn't going anywhere. They look like they've got the biolab. However, they still need numbers. The capture points are still in the favor of the TR. The spawn options for the VS are actually gone. That is also important. So TR playing a different game style here, getting rid of the VS spawn options. They have 3 capture points. It doesn't matter they don't have the generator. And, the repair. The SU's coming to be repaired. Oh, it was so close for the Crown. It's not enough now.
And as we say this, Briggs has now retaken a second point at Crux headquarters and are laying the offensive onto Bravo point now. Oh, maybe I've spoken too soon. Alpha's being tagged again. By 3 Koreans, but there is a troop of Briggs, there's a squad of Briggs people coming back in. So
60% population for Briggs at Araxicum in the south. Yeah, oh my goodness. Right, here's the difference between how you attack, right? Araxicum substation. How does Crown attack it? well, we have a couple of guys, and maybe we send in 2 scythes, and, you know, we have some people hiding in the bushes, and we shoot them from the spawn room. How does Briggs do it? Send everyone. Gary Oldman, right? Just, I want some galaxies, and I want all the mosquitoes, and then I maybe want a harasser on the point, give me some spawn options, and an infantry watching the spawn room.
25 minutes remaining in the match now.
It's completely different. Well, it's also, you know, if you don't have air control, then you can't obviously fly your Air Force over a base, because Crown clearly doesn't have it, which means they have more guys on the ground, but not necessarily being as effective. And then, because you've got air control, you can more freely move around with ground vehicles in the open on bases like this. So,
yeah, it's a trade-off. Like, if you are going in and you are going in hard on that air dominance, you are trading off being able to play that ground game as an infantry. Like, ground will have more people on the ground on the point. So if your air can't get in the point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, so here's another slightly important thing for everyone to see. Eastern Athacom Array captured, right? East Shore Training Camp has been capped, and there's nobody there to cap or save it. You know, there's the fight going on at Anatha, and it looks like it's kind of back and forth, but it's not going to go anywhere now. The enemy is just there. Our Axicom substation is going to go through with that kind of pop committal. And there's a threat at Crux, but the important thing to note here is NC Arsenal has been allowed to tick down by a small person so much that now the enemy, is Briggs as TR, has decided to commit huge numbers. Well, more than just 1 or 2. They're up to 24, 12, 24. And this is the threat. 3 capture points with a spawn room that's being watched and camped. They got some Air Force. They don't have Sunders. I'd like to have seen Sunders, because you can actually drive Sunders up over the ridge line from the back of the base in the spawn room, and that way you can get Sunders into the capture rooms and into the cap area staircases, which they don't have, but they do have the cap points locked down.
Looking at this, looks like a Raxacom substation is about to be recaptured by the Briggs team, the TR. Yeah. Just checking over there to make sure that's going through. At the same time, they're ghost capping their way through East Shore Training Camp, resecuring Onaka. They are on the offensive at Crux, but they are being outnumbered now. Of course,
Air Force
yeah, NC Arsenal.
Stay frosty, this fight is all but won.
And they're on the offensive at Ickenham now, with all 3 points as far as I can tell.
Yeah, so Anatha Northgate can theoretically take a single, but the thing is, the Jugs Force had to come back and deal with their XCOM substation, so that this wasn't their lane. Maybe they go for Auxiliary Compound, maybe they go for Anatha Northgate. These are 2 1-point bases they can go for.
Northgate's just started ticking.
Yeah, and the thing is, Crux doesn't matter now, because Crux can be bypassed. It's been defended well, but NC Arsenal is going to go through in 30 seconds. And if with that opens up the gateway to Sungray, and then hypothetically up to the Warp Gate. Sungray is a multi-point base. Well, actually, it gives you hard spawns, but given the tenacity of the defensive Crown at Crux, they could probably defend Sungray just as well. But you're right, Ickenham was also ticking on a minute 15.
Yep, and I'm just inside there now. Briggs have just about blown the main shield generator, and they're just surrounding the spawn room. Like, they're not even worrying about defending the generator, they're just sitting around that spawn
We are
room.
proud today.
Siasta goes down. Doesn't really matter as much that Ickenham Biolab doesn't go down. Alright, okay, maybe it does, because if you don't want to go through Sungray, it does kind of matter. SU still, nope, being charged now, but it doesn't really matter, because the capture points are 40 seconds. However, it means there are 4 things the enemy has to deal with. The gen and the capture points, at least 2.
Yeah, well, I'd say their strategy is just to spout as many people as they can. So take the very small force that Crown has committed. Oh, the Crown is up to a platoon, but take that force and force it to spread out across all the points in order to defend the base.
Them on their heel.
We got some max play and some infantry coming in at Ickenham. They are up to 59%, the defenders Crown. They have regained control of the SCU and are beginning to stabilise, right? They got 1 capture point at A, and they're actually beginning to take Charlie. You know what? They've made a save.
No, I'd say they've made a save, but it's come at a cost of they've had to overcommit here again.
There's no population. It's kind of 50-50 between a Macau and an Araxcom substation. There is a 50-50 pop going on at Anatha Northgate. However, the Jugs force is stronger, I'd say, and they are taking the Northgate, and then they're going to decide whether or not they go to Crux Mining or not. The Crux headquarters is being saved. But there's the population imbalance. The imbalance from Ickenham Biolab is affecting the Sungri Westgate, and that's kind of like a totem, well, like a pyramid in terms of getting in there. Air control is actually quite powerful.
And I can also see some TR on the auger, so I'm gonna go take a quick squiz at that and see if they're committing to just taking the point here in any capacity. Doesn't look like they have. So yeah, they've committed everything they can up to Sungri Westgate. Effectively pulled out of Ickenham Biolab now. They're still really going hard on Crux headquarters. Like, that is still this gigantic just ball of bullets in the middle of the map.
You got the Crown players trying to make a play on the Northgate, but from the swarms, the problem is that the TR force here, they've got themselves 1, 2 mosquitoes, maybe it's their own force. Oh, hello! Is that an Air Force turning up? I do believe that is a TR Air Force coming to Anatha Northgate.
Yeah, so obviously they're just coming in to give a little bit of support, stop the Crown forces from advancing up to the point.
Did somebody call for Air Force?
Just see them. Just air to ground straight away on top of those bombs.
And this is where you can cheese and complain about cheese as much as you want, but if you don't have a competent air group, you can just, and given the nature of the map and the bases, you have a population imbalance at Crux, but that's kind of because the enemy forces have moved around. They're saving Ickenham Bio, they're saving Crux, but completely uncontested Sungri Westgate. And the thing is, the NC Arsenal was also uncontested, so is Crown having issues with the number of platoon leaders they have, the number of attack people? Have they got no forces that would need to split off from Crux and go to Sungri West? Because Sungri West is now down to a minute 40. Anatha Northgate is down to 50. And if your Air Force takes this base, you know, Anatha North, right, then you just send them off to Sungri West. Because the enemy, to get into the capture point, has to fight their way up through a really pagoda-style building, or they have to fly on top of the roof and get to the capture point. But if the Air Force is there, that ain't gonna happen. Yeah, the entire VS force has just left Anatha North. Right, let's go check out Sungri West then.
Yeah, the VS have effectively just said, okay, you can have that. We will deal with something else.
Triple Galaxy.
And they've also left Sungray by the looks of it.
Well, the thing is, TR are also beginning to drive into Sungri Am Station to get immediately set up. I mean, they've got Triple Galaxy at maximum altitude, just respawn in and drop on the cap point. They've got 4 deployed Sunders. I mean, the fighting spirit from Crown is not in question. You know, they're absolute ferocious fighters. You just need to look at Crux headquarters to see that. What's lacking is that logistical gameplay, that ability to command vehicles, to command the air game, to get your own vehicle play, to get the logistical support required to then make the fight stick. And this is obviously more important for base attacks, but it's also important for defenses because you can't allow the enemy to just dictate the first 2 minutes of a base attack, i.e. Sungri Westgate. Oh, Galaxy right over the top. 3 people? Are you not paying attention, sir? Is that enough? Last 2 defenders from the TR? Ah, but in come the TR Galaxy reinforcement perhaps on the roof? No, pilot drops out. He wants to fight.
They put a red, yeah.
The facility is ours.
Not enough. Not enough. It was valiant attempt.
It was a valiant attempt, but it was just 10 seconds too late getting on that point.
Yeah, but the thing is, valiant attempts are like 5-6 guys trying to make a play, trying to do something. What are 5-6 guys going to do against 20, 30, 40, or all the multipliers? And that's where team play and command of how you play ServerSmash comes into contention. We see a Raxcom substation.
I'm going to take a look at Sung right now, and they've just, the Briggs team's just ticked over every single point in his base. Well, they're still ticking over Bravo, but
it does mean that an Alpha as well is flickering.
My guess.
VS on the point. No, shotgun. Hello.
Yeah, there's. Yep, just spam shotgun.
Oh, they got themselves a basic Sunder on the outside, maybe try and get any Sunders, but spawn point Sunders don't matter on this base, and that's why these type of amp stations, when they're multi-cap point, not single cap point, is so dangerous, because it's a perpetual game of whack-a-mole. You can never push the enemy off, because they could just hold on to one capture point and megally defend it, right? As the defenders, you can install it.
15 minutes to in the match now. 15 minutes.
Yep, so the VS are recapturing, or have recaptured now, the Bravo point at Sangre, but the TR still hold 2 of the points. Oh!
So the Augur is ticking down. The Augur is ticking down from reverse from NC Arsenal. That safeguards NC Arsenal itself. The Crux headquarters was actually fully saved, so Crown did go on the offensive at Raxcom's network hub and Rock Slide, but it looks like both of those offensive attacks have been stalled. And we've entered whack-a-mole warfare right now on Sungri Amp Station. Now, if you are the Briggs leader, you got 15 minutes left, right? You're probably not going to get a warp gate off, and Crown obviously doesn't want that to happen given the nature of the map. You know, they've held at Crux. Do you what? Do you apply more pressure at Sungri Amp Station? Do you go for Crux mining operation once it ticks down to around the 2-minute marker?
Well, yeah, because remember, if they do get Sungre Amp, they cut off Sungre Power, Moss Ravine, North Grove, all the way down to Ickenham. Like, this base is the biggest play that they could make right now.
Yeah.
And you can see that in that Briggs has just leveled out the pop here. It is 48 to 48.
Argumentatively, however, nah, you don't have enough time. You need 12 minutes to cap Lance, ARX, and Shadespire. And then you've only got 13 minutes and 40 and Crux mining. No, so there isn't going to be a warp gate per se, but you can cut off territory. Given the time that's left, yes. But it's Crown that's making the saves right now. They're getting more population in. What is it? What have we got here? 46%, so they don't actually have all the population. Maybe... where's the Briggs forces then? What are they doing?
Well, I'm looking at it right now. The Briggs forces are just pouring in now, so they're setting up Sunderers. They had that early cap. They were on the points early. And now they're making their second push to retake the points. So they're taking A back, and from the looks of the gameplay, they're moving. Yeah, they're moving vehicles into Bravo.
And the Air Force has turned up. Yeah.
Yep,
So
and they've got a battle Sunderer going in onto the Bravo point to protect that from any invading Korean forces. And also there's a push coming in towards the Charlie point. So I think that given the amount they've committed to this base, they've seen the value in it, and they're going to make a huge play here. Like, this is going to be their final major play.
If you lock down all 3 capture points, right, with this amount of Air Force watching anything that moves on the ground that isn't red, or as TR. I mean, dude, there's a lightning just got pulled out of the vehicle bay, right? Let's just watch this lightning. He's trying to go for the Sunder. He didn't last more than about 20 seconds. He literally got shredded. And this is the thing as well. The spawn room has 3 or 4 exits depending on how you look at the front, the back, and the side vehicle bay type areas. You watch every single one of them. Enemy can't get out. Enemy can't get to the capture points at minute 40.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is I can see them taking 1 point back, but remember, the cap times on each of these points are huge. Like, because they control those spawn rooms, it's almost a 15-second cap, I believe.
You know, and the thing is, you'll have people in all the sections as well, so it needs to be enough people to get to a cap point to fight it, to contest it. And then we even see the external shield generators for the vehicle bay area being charged. So
yeah, and just even if they can't get through, just having those charged will apply pressure to the Crown side.
Well, while this is going on at Sungri, anything else, Ickenham doesn't really matter, Augur doesn't matter, Motor Pool fight doesn't matter, none of that lane there matters. The Crux mining operation, it's small potatoes, looks like it's 64 in favour of Crown. Koreans, they are making a save at Crux mining. McKell Auxiliary Compound is being taken by Briggs, so the population imbalance from Crux mining is because the Briggs force has possibly gone to McKell Auxiliary Compound, but it's 50-50-ish now, nearly. Crux headquarters is significantly dropped in population as everything has shifted to Sungri
Crown
Amp.
is pushing in on Charlie Point, but it looks like it was just 1 or 2 people that got in there. It was... Oh no? they do have a decent sized force on there, so it'll be interesting to see if Briggs decides to recap that or just...
but the timer's so far gone, it's going to turn the timer into like a 1 minute or something. Oh wow,
Yeah,
check this run. A lot of people on the minimap. I mean,
yeah, so the outside of that building's swarming, and really if Briggs tags this point even, cap timer drops so quickly that...
You need to brute force the second point. We see the enemy has a spawn sunder on Alpha. That would need to die if they ran into it, which would probably happen if they brute forced a bit. Honestly, the second easiest brute force is Bravo. To come out of the spawn rooms in between the buildings and get into the capture building of Bravo is the easiest way to get... but look at that, Charlie is already flipping back in favour of the TR, and that's it. Sungray goes through.
And that's just cut off everything from Sungray Power Hub down to Ickenham. So, huge play right there.
Now we see that Sungray Overwatch is already ticking now. With 9 minutes left, only 2 more bases can legitimately be taken. So Motor Pool is going to stall that. So even if Motor Pool was saved, Biolab could be quickly done. Maybe they could get some extra bases. NC Arsenal's been ticked down, so they can't actually attack Augur.
On our call, 9 minutes remaining in the match now. 9 minutes.
So Sungray Power Hub can go through, Moss Ravine can go through, Sungray Overwatch can go through, Hidden Ridge can go through, Mining can go through. Oh, but check it out, Crux Mining Operation also, if that goes through, Shadespur can be done, but not ARX. Well, let's go check out the eastern edge of the game map.
Yeah, well, given that we've been focusing up on Sungray, we'll take a look and see what the Jugs boys have been doing over on the east.
But they're losing, they've lost Charlie, they're bringing to lose Alpha.
I'd say that...
But this is a base where you can drive Sunders onto the Alpha, which is what they're doing, and the Bravo capture points, which means Charlie's the only one that's going to be exposed in the open. If you've got an Air Force that's free, definitely come and help out. You can even deploy the Sunder on Alpha as well, showing how cheesy and powerful it is. Even if you're aware that you can do that, then the defenders have to anticipate it's going to happen and not let the enemy get that freedom of movement of the vehicles.
Yeah, well, they've just got an Alpha point back, and yeah, that Charlie point over on the far side's really... I don't think they even look like they're bothering to contest it.
Oh,
they're
wow. Sungray
quite
Overwatch.
content holding Alpha and Bravo.
Yeah, this was assuming, of course, Crown would allow the enemy to take Overwatch, which didn't happen. Overwatch is actually a quite tricky base to attack and take, and with the sheer volume of infantry on the ground, because they have more infantry on the ground because they don't have an air force in the skies, they can brute force these type of capture points. So they've saved Sungray. They can't get to Sungray Power Hub because they've got no spawn options, and because they can't realistically fly or in any large cohesive numbers, it's very difficult to get there. So that's why that base will probably go through. We see Crux headquarters being attacked. It theoretically can go through with 24:48 and 7 minutes left. And since there's no defenders whatsoever, the entire Briggs force could get set up. McCall Auxiliary Compound was being attacked a minute ago. It's not going to happen. We'll have a quick look at Crux headquarters then and see what the situation is.
Yeah, to be honest, I think at this point it's pretty much a stalemate. I mean, I can see the remainder of that Crown territory that Briggs has cut off going through. But of course, they're going to have to stay on the offensive on Sungray Overwatch to stop Sungray reversing. Crux Mining's just sort of a tug of war. Oh, Briggs has just gone hard on Crux headquarters.
Yep, we're looking at it. It's 24:48, so the population's increasing. 3 minutes and 40. They'll get Power Hub. They'll get Moss Ravine.
Yeah, and they brought the air support into Crux Mining, just shelling that spawn room.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get Crux Mining though. It's going to take too long with 6 minutes and 14. And Sungray Amp, the entire Briggs force has left Sungray Amp and gone to partially Crux headquarters. I guess they've gone a number of places. Power Hub, saving NC Arsenal, maybe thinking about going Ickenham Motor Pool and Ickenham Biolab. The Crux headquarters, 3 minutes to go. Well, we've seen that before. 3 minutes to go, 1 minute to go, and it's been saved. So we'll see what happens now.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on this, see what's...
Oh, Crown's attacking Rexcom substation, pushing out from McCall Auxiliary Compound, so that's, good. It means that the fight at McCall Aux isn't important anymore.
Oh, it looks like the Briggs
Ooh,
Air
wow.
Force has just
He
decided
amped.
to make a play into Crux headquarters.
Yeah, but Crux, 3 minutes, amp station less, 1 minute 40, 48 to 96. Even if the numbers at Power Hub come back, guess you could have regrouped to the warp gate and then redunked. Oh wow, check 4896 TR at Sungray Overwatch.
And well, I would say take a look at Sungray Amp, because given that that's just gone through.
Yeah, but like, there's a ton of TR infantry, logistics, Sunders, Air Force, all at Sungray Overwatch, totally bypassed by the VS, which have dropped onto the capture points of Sungray Amp Station. They have all 3 cap points, although they're beginning to lose Bravo, but it basically prevents, in 50 seconds, if Sungray Amp Station isn't saved, then Sungray Overwatch can't be captured. You know, you're running out of options in what you can capture. Crux headquarters will go through, but only if all the capture points stay in favour of the Briggs. Ikanon Biolab is being stealth capped right now, so it's very difficult for the respawn in, so it'll probably go through for Briggs. Crux mining's been saved.
Yeah, I can see that simply from the point of view of I doubt that Crown can get people over there in time without having to concede ground somewhere else.
Generator destroyed.
This is Multi on Alcor, 4 minutes remaining in the match. Now, 4 minutes.
Okay, so what bases are still in contention? Well, Sungray...
Crux mining is out. Crux headquarters looks like it's probably out. The Crown's just redeployed a huge force into there. NC Arsenal, I doubt it's going anywhere.
Crux headquarters isn't going to happen. Ikanon Biolab is probably the only base, and then possibly Sungray Amp. In fact, if I was Crown right now, everything on Sungray Amp. Just everything.
Yeah.
Put everyone on Sungray Amp.
That would, yeah, no, that would be my final play, is just dump everyone into this one base and see where you can get.
Oh, we got a Crown Air Force. We got a bunch of scythes in the sky. I like to see that. Unfortunately, they're fighting Sunder AA in the skies. They've got the Alpha, they've lost the Charlie, they're maybe losing the Bravo. It's turned it into 2 minutes. Charlie's now no wait, Bravo's saved. Is the Charlie point going through? Yes, it is. There's enough BS here that Charlie will go through, so that's 3 points. They might actually get their base back.
Yeah, I could very realistically see Crown retaking Sungray Amp in the final minutes of this match.
It just goes to show, I mean, brute force enough people on a particular base and you will take it. You'll lose other bases around the map, but hey, it's Korean pride, yo. That's about it. 2 minutes to
And
go.
in it goes.
Now, there's not enough time to take Crux headquarters, so the fight there, the Korean force could totally leave.
Everything's done now.
Yeah,
It's
they
all-
could save, no, Monster Fiend doesn't matter. Moti, you're ready with the freeze command, I assume, when the game ends. I believe that's us. There's no other fights that realistically can go through in the 2 minutes we have. No, so let's go check Crux headquarters then.
Sorry, how long do we have left remaining?
About a minute 30.
Okay, so Crux headquarters can go through.
Wait, they got the capture points back? Oh wow.
I've got all the capture points.
I thought
right
they
now.
had them at the time. 1
They
minute
lose
to go.
any of them.
Well,
If they lose any of these capture points, they're not going through, but right now, it looks like it's both sides have dumped.
I didn't think it was
everything
this
they've got left
close.
into there.
30 seconds. Wow, there's not enough time. The Air Force is here.
Remember, last time we saw Crown snag a point at the absolute last second, but
Not this time. They need to snag 2 points
I think that
briefly.
we've literally got all 100 and something Briggs players sitting on
Yeah,
this point
it's-
right now.
Send me everyone. Everyone.
I would not want to be playing on the ground right now. You've probably got
It's
about
too
5
jerky.
FPS. And there we
is
are.
our tradition.
That was a mistake on my part, and I guess it could be sticking the leaders. There was a huge committal in Sungri, which is fine. You know, Briggs loses it, Connery takes it back, but you can see what Briggs wanted. They wanted Crux headquarters. Does Jugga take the base? Yeah, they do.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End of match, end of match. Congratulations for Briggs to winning with 71% against Brown 10%.
Awesome. If you'd be so kind to ask for some reps or FCs, maybe come to the interview channel and
Yeah.
we'll just close this up.
If you could do the raffle before the interview, it would be great.
Do the what?
Yes, the raffle.
Raffle for the
The
club.
raffle
Oh, the
that
raffle,
Rob has
raffle.
organised.
Raffle.
Yes.
Oh,
You know how
you
to
go.
run that, Mounty?
Yeah, don't worry. We'll use Moobot.
Yep.
We tested it yesterday. Can Force Commanders please join the interview channel? The thing is, I'm not sure they can join. I will drag them.
Ah, that's cool. Thank you very much. So, this is... You did freeze the map, right? Yeah, cool. So this is the end map, guys. As we can see, it was a fairly convincing win. A number of cut-off territories for Crown and Briggs, just applying pressure throughout the whole game. And from a fighting point of view in certain areas, it's not that Crown was lacking. It's just how you use vehicles, how you use multipliers, how you use cheese, how you use the Air Force was the real killer, I think, today. It's just massive, you know. And as a result, you know, the score says 71-10, but it wasn't like that much of a landslide in terms of player skill. It's just the higher level of gameplay, the tactical and strategic level of gameplay. You know what you got to do, but it's how you do it. So I guess the strategically and on the ground level is the same, but it's the tactical play. Yeah. Anyway. All right, let's drop down. Hello.
Right, can we do the raffle before?
Yeah, you go ahead and do the raffle
Yes,
and we'll get
let's
on.
go.
Alright. If you're on the Twitch chat, I will start and open the raffle. All you have to do is to enter !air raffle, like basically what people are typing right now. And we will let maybe 2 minutes for people, and we will then announce the winner. You need a Twitch account to do that. Alright, the raffle has started. So you can tap raffle on the chat.
There's too many tags and logos and things on TeamSpeak. I can't get you guys' names. Sorry, I'm trying. All right, well, you're doing the raffle then, and everyone gets free stuff, or one lucky sod gets free stuff and needs to be shot all the time when he's in game. Let's get started. So I guess for Briggs, congratulations. You won. Was it ever in any doubt? Were you nervous? Or do you think, how much can we win by?
I know for my part, it was definitely a few butterflies in the stomach when we looked at the air they were bringing, and we knew they were going to bring some top-notch pilots. So, right from the start, you know, and obviously you always get nervous before a smash, and from the get-go we knew it would be anyone's game to win that opening air battle. So we were definitely pretty nervous.
Do we have our...
Yeah. Shang doesn't have...
I'm here, I'm sorry,
Chat,
I
I've
just got
given him.
permission to speak.
Echoey?
Okay.
I'm looking for our Crown representation.
Is Maddox is above.
Ah, hello, Maddox.
Hey, Maddox.
Hold on for a second, please. Oh, yeah.
Maddox,
We
the
have
mic,
an
come on.
internal interview.
Your microphone is really low.
I think he's talking to other people. Something tells me Maddox, because the last time I spoke to him in a stream, he was force commanding, and he was platoon leading, and he was infantry fighting on the ground.
Right. We're gonna draw the rifle, maybe?
Alright, it's fine. Yep, you got
We
everyone
have
in the chat.
68 people inside it right now.
It's fine. I mean, how many people you got watching the stream? Just go for it.
Can you hit that? Can you guys hear me?
You're very muffled,
Still,
Maddox.
still can't hear you, buddy.
Okay, let me...
It sounds like you're in a bathtub under a bathtub.
So the winner is Dirty Nasty Soldier. Going to PM you. Yeah, that's something of a name. I'm going to PM him, and if we
PM him,
don't
he's
have,
got a minute or two to
answers.
reply. Then we do it again if he doesn't reply in a minute or two.
Yeah, can you guys...
Bit
Yes,
better.
better.
Yep,
Better.
I'll bump your volume up.
Well, for this time, I think I made a grave mistake pulling. I think I forced too much on this match, actually. I didn't realize we wouldn't have the insufficient amount of players on this match because we have a very enthusiastic players on the Miller match.
So you were
Yeah,
short at the
so-
beginning by, what, like 15, 20 people?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's.
We sent Malty to go rustle up some Briggs reserves and throw
Yeah.
them at you.
We sent as many of our Briggs reserves as possible that were in our reserve channels down to the Koreans ones. All of them got subbed in. The ones that were left were AFKs. We ran out of subs.
Oh God. I think I gotta have to apologize.
No, don't apologize. It was a fun game. You got to see it. Now, there's one thing I was curious about is that the gameplay style, the meta style. Briggs is a cohesive server group. You guys have played together. You've got your outfits that play together. The level of organization can be seen when you're playing. You know how the maxes go with an engineer and a medic, or how you use your multipliers of your ground vehicles or your air force. The Crown Group is that in spirituality alone. You basically play in multiple servers in different places, and you don't necessarily have Korean outfits that work together, right? So I guess the question is, Maddox, when you get all your Korean players together, do they pretty much come from everywhere? I mean, how do you try and organize that?
Actually, we have our own forum in our website, so we arrange our players to. I think we contact all the outfit representatives to how can you how many players can you get, and we have the signups. We also have the signups, and we gather all the players from all the servers, but we mostly pull from the outfits from Connery because most of our players are on Connery right now. Although they're pretty much spread on all factions, but
Sure. Are they playing in tonight's game against Emerald?
I don't think so because it's 12 hours away and they're on 9 a.m.
Go to sleep right now and wake up.
Well, I think I want to play for the Emerald match, but I think I got to stream for myself for Koreans.
Yep. No, there you go. Okay, so if we're looking at the game today, what was the deciding factor, maybe from both teams? Do you think that made the win in favor of Briggs? Was it the Air Force? Was it the multipliers? Because for me, looking at the eye in the sky, having air control means that you prevent the enemy from moving around. Cut-off territory can't get reinforced. Having air control means the enemy can't have ground vehicles, and then you can just dictate the term. And whenever we saw Crown do some limited attacks on bases, and they did get some base caps, you didn't have the logistics, the force multipliers, the things to help you hold the base more than 2 minutes. And then the Briggs just brought the rain.
We had like more Sundays and Galaxies and even Valkyries to do so to have a force multipliers, but our Air Force couldn't handle it because our Air Force were really limited and short. We have only 10-ish of pilots, and we have very short of pilots, so we had to accommodate some players to have the air control by having sky guards or air-to-air Sundays, anti-air Sundays, like walkers and rangers. So
And then-
it's kind of, yeah.
And then from the Briggs point of view, like your Air Force on point, easy money?
Sorry, I got everyone poking me from Briggs right now. I'm like lighting up like a Christmas tree.
We were
Can I
just
get that question
asking.
one more time?
We're just asking. Your Air Force was on point today. I mean, you know, you got control, you kept control, and then I'm assuming you were just sent go here and bomb everything. Easy money, right?
Yeah, well, we basically had from the beginning, from the weeks before we were planning, a strict rule about where we would send the air and where we wouldn't and when, so that even in the heat of the moment, if we started to get upset or scared, fall back to the plan and just make sure that we don't overextend on the air. So that plan was to basically keep the Briggs air machine, which is the air wing of Briggs, over the ascent, and to help out with little things around that mountain, especially Bastion. And once that went through, we were comfortable sending them out to the eastern lanes a little bit more. But they never went northwest until the mid and late game. So we kept our air pretty tight, actually, and I think that's what helped us out, is that we stayed disciplined about it.
Azure, do you have any questions for your fellow Australians?
Not really. I'm currently trying to stop them crashing the Briggs TeamSpeak right now. You people are evil. Please don't bully my TeamSpeak.
Because I figured it'd be better if they did not crash this one. You can kill me on that.
No, I'll yell at you later. But no, very well played, I thought. I missed the opening, of course, but both sides had a movement and they were both pushing and pulling where they were.
Right, let me
really nice caps through there.
Let me ask about the opening play before we head off. The opening play, the way that the meta currently works, as people understand it, is that you go for the quicker cap time bases rather than the longer cap time bases. I guess the question to you, Maddox, is we saw that Crown made an opening play on both large outposts. You went for Split Peak Pass and Bastion early.
Yes.
Was that just because we don't have enough people, let's go for these big bases first? Because I was saying on stream, oh no, they've sent 2 squads to Split Peak Pass. I guarantee you they're going to get it lost in the last 10 seconds. It's going to be a steal. And it happened, man. What was the thinking about going after the large outpost first?
Actually, we had our planning on 50-50 on both Araxicum and Split Peak Pass, but the force multiplier has broken when the air control was lost. So I think I wasn't there, so I can't be sure, but I think mostly the Sundays and the spawn options were on the Split Peak mainly. So I think the forces went to the Split Peak where they could help hold the cap point, but they couldn't anticipate the last minute drops. We had like all the setups and cap point holds, but I think the cohesion was not that strong than I thought. And for the Bastion, well, I thought we would be we already anticipated we were gonna have a tough fight on the Bastion because we wasn't really sure about the air control. So I just had my squads go to the Lith Corp and try to interdict them. But they had 4896 people first on the rock slide, so we couldn't even interdict the Lith Corp.
The Raven's Landing one, yeah. Or Lith Corp. Well, I mean, that's all the questions I have for you guys. I mean, is there anything you want to say to each other just before we head off, and we're going to talk about tonight's game?
Well, I think Shang, you go on. You go on first.
진짜 열심히 하셨고 진짜 고생 많이 하셨고 정말 나중에도 우리가 이런 대회를 할 수 있으면 좋겠습니다. 정말 고맙습니다, 마락스.
Thank you. Well, first to say we are really good to be back, and we will back again against the French side. Even though it's 96 versus 96, I think we can manage to pull that amount of players. But yes, we will be back once again, and I hope we would be back on 2017 next year. So yeah. And GG, Briggs, you guys did well.
Thanks.
Yeah, we will hope to see you again, or maybe we would fight with you with another team or another server.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I look forward to personally having my multiple anuses re-anused again by the Koreans, because I swear to God, my KD was fucking atrocious.
Yeah, and first, yeah, and the last thing, we will have new reps coming because I'm going to the military service after week after the French side Nation Smash. So yeah, guys, look forward to the new reps and be nice to them, even though they're not really not good as mine for it, not fluent as me.
That's cool.
Convince them to merge everyone over to Briggs.
Well, we hope so, but you gotta set up the pings better. You gotta set up the pings better, please.
Cool. Well, that's us for today. Thank you very much, guys. Me and Azure are going to drop off and end the stream. So thank you for playing. Hope you had fun, and we'll see you in your future games. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Right, that's us. That is ServerSmash 68. To recap, Briggs are the victors. 71 to 10, crowns 10%. Coming up next, so that's not just our only game today. We actually do have a second ServerSmash, which we don't usually do 2 in one weekend, but we truly are blessed. Next is ServerSmash Giggity 69. That is Emerald playing as the New Conglomerate versus Connery playing as the Terran Republic. So we may see some Crown and Briggs players playing for Connery. We may see some Emerald players playing for Connery. We may just see some Connery people playing for Emerald. It's more of a kind of a loose association of what the teams are. Regardless, if you look at this, you would have to say that Emerald are one of the stronger teams. This is the first official Connery team fielded in a ServerSmash this year, I believe. And kudos to them. We're glad to have them back, ready to go for another game. We'll see how it goes. It starts in 11 hours and 15 minutes. All right, set your watches. I'll see you in the morning, Azure, when you wake up. And that is 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, midnight if you're in the United Kingdom, 1 a.m. if you're in Europe. And I'm sorry, I don't know what time it is in Australia, because those time zones are something plus 13 or 12 or 10. But anyway, you can figure it out. We're playing on Hossen. I don't know the exact numbers. I can bring that when we actually do the game itself. So we'll see you in 11 hours, guys. I'll be here. You'll be there. We'll check it all out. We'll catch you there, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.